it's one of the things that has really put into view my relationship with entertainment, especially for us millennials that grew up during a time where we were really kicking up conversations about representation and what we expected from our entertainment and what we wanted to see. It's putting into view this idea of art judged by quality versus art judged by utility, and what do we prioritize and when do we prioritize it? Because with How to Die Alone, would it be something that I would naturally gravitate towards? No. Am I glad that it exists? Yes. And I do have to sometimes wonder if the "I'm glad it exists" answer is enough. That's the thing that I struggle with a little bit, is what do we do when we interact with a piece of art that's important for very specific reasons that certain communities can understand, but may not be personally up to snuff in other areas, like writing, strong narrative, strong direction, motive. These are things that should matter in a lot of the art we consume. But at the same time, we do have this overhanging systemic issue of, hey, if we nix this, are we going to have another opportunity to fumble and sort of fine tune how we tell stories? And before I would have been like, of course we are. And now, again, as we talked about earlier, the impermanence of streaming media now, and how one slip up and your entire show could be wiped off of the face of the earth. It brings that utility bit more into focus. This is really important because we don't know if we're going to have another chance at it. But yeah, it's a bit of a it's a bit of a struggle.
On that point, permanence of streaming media, but also the shrinking of streaming media. I think of that era, I'd say probably post 2016, there was a lot more money in streaming to actually give people. But now, when the money is less, we see who that money is being used for. We just went through what feels like a couple of years of a major culling of specifically Black stories and Black perspectives.
Miss Issa Rae, ma'am, first of all, I'm so glad that you were here.
I'm happy to be here.
You're here promoting Seen and Heard. I know that it is a celebration and a chronicling of the history of Black television. One of the parts of it that I think has been talked about, and folks will talk about it now and again, but the way that a lot of studios used Black audiences to build up their networks and then abandon them as as soon as it was convenient is something that anybody in the know understands, but I feel your documentary really details the hurt that it was inflicted upon the people that were involved in that moment. I'd love for you to preview a little bit about that and why it was so important, because that really does anchor the first episode.
Sure. I mean, it's one thing to say it, and one thing to like inherit. Like sometimes it sounds like a conspiracy. You know, you might have heard someone say that. You may have heard that in the history of television and the history of particular networks. But to have the actual creators, showrunners, writers telling you and chronicle the history of that is just like, it's undeniable. So to have that, again, we wanted to make a comprehensive history and to be able to showcase like with evidence that this is how they built the success of their networks on our backs, and we almost don't have anything to show for it as a result is tragic, and history repeats itself.
We lost Rapture. Yes. We have just lost Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur. Those are just at the top of mind. And we're not getting things to replace them. Before, it felt a bit better because we had these different properties. So I keep flashing back to like early Netflix, that excitement of On My Block, and Luke Cage was about to come out and it looked like it would be something interesting. And that wasn't shade. I thought we were going to skip over that one. All right.
We still can, but I will say the only thing that I'm going to add to that is fair.
Beautiful gowns. Beautiful.